Hello and welcome to the Power of You. I'm Blaine Bartlett.
And I am not. I'm Doland White.
He's Doland White.
Exactly.
Happy New Year.
It's good to know who
Happy
we are
New
when
Year.
we come to do
And
come
just,
to do this.
I know we shouldn't date this stuff because we like it to be evergreen, but what the heck? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And happy New Year to you, Mr. Bartlett. Welcome
You
to
as well, sir. Yeah.
welcome to a great year ahead.
Looking forward to it. And part of the reason I mentioned the new year is, it's the beginning of a new cycle. I posted something up on my LinkedIn feed about the year of the horse,
Oh yeah.
which is what we're entering into,
Right.
which is the beginning of a new 9-year cycle. And also numerologically, 2026 ends up being a universal 1 number, which is also the beginning. So if we look at the power of you through the lens of new beginnings, what are some of the goals? What are some of the aspirations? What are some of the things that we're setting up for ourselves, both personally, but also for our teams and our organizations?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be playing with today.
Yeah. It's always an interesting thing, when crossing over that boundary, each year into that January 1st, man, there's the pressure that comes into before that around, I got to have goals.
Yeah.
And I got to get clear. And the self-inflicted pressure a lot of times. It's like, I got to do this. My friends have goals. They said they're going to have more stuff. So I got to get in on this.
Exactly. Yeah, my wife sat me down with a list, little A4 size piece of paper and said, "Okay, let's review last year and set up next year." I'm going, I don't want to do that. We did it anyway.
Exactly. That's how it rolls. So anyway, but yeah, great. I'm really looking forward to the conversation today. Goals, mindset, Growals again.
Yep, we're going to touch on Growals again. Yeah,
again. Repetition is the key thing to that.
And I just love. I really do enjoy the distinction about Growals, and I'm going to just kind of put this up here.
Yeah,
FTSOW for the sake of what? Growals and mindset. So we're going to take each one of those and kind of peek under the hood a little bit, if you will, and see how it might inform what you're doing in 2026 as we get the year off to a good start.
Yeah, that's the what we're hoping. We're hoping if you haven't built these things yet, we'll give you some mindset to think about it. And if you have, we'll give you some mindset to think about it.
Exactly. So let's get started here.
Yeah.
We always start with some blind spots just to kind of position why we're doing what we're doing. The whole idea of noticing what you're noticing. Most of us don't notice what we're noticing. Our attention gets grabbed and we don't know what happened. It's kind of like I was going there, but how did I end up over here? Well, because you paid attention to something subliminally. This is where mindset comes in that moved you over into this direction. Yeah. So we got 4 basic blind spots. There's certainly a lot more than that, but these are the ones that we're going to focus on today.
Yeah, I love talking about this because the blind spots. These are the things that when we're not noticing what we're noticing, that if we're not paying attention consistently, or at least finding moments to pause, these come up. First one, you and your team, which is important. Treat goals as commitments to execution instead of commitments to becoming. And I love that statement. And we'll get into more about how to think about goals, but it's more about what do I have to do rather than what I have to be.
Yeah. And that does, and we will touch on this, but we use goals, we identify them because we want to get something. We want to, something, that's indicative of movement, we're acquiring, that sort of thing. But the true purpose of a goal is to grow. And if you're not growing in the process of achieving what you're trying to make happen, why even do it? I mean, honestly, I mean, yeah, you get it, yeah, whatever it is, but it's kind of like, yeah, is that all there is?
Yeah, that's a
If,
really important statement. Then why even do it?
yeah, why even do it?
Yeah.
And check in with your team. Why are we doing this? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know for the sake of what comes to mind, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Blind spot number 2 here. Confusing realism with limitation and calling it being responsible.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of boy. Where this one shows up is when you start setting new objectives and whatnot for your team. They kind of look at each other and they look around and go, but how are we going to do that? You know, our supplier over here is actually, you know, the supply chain issues are kind of, and we've got, oh, by the way, so reality as it's seen and experienced by people is key. It gets confused with it's real. No,
Right.
it's not real. It's something that's there, but it's not real. And if you make it real, now it's a limitation.
Right.
But you call it being responsible. Well, we were responsible. We had a fiduciary responsibility to not go out on a limb.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
the only way you're going to grow is to go out on a limb.
I know it's so funny you said it because I can't tell you how many times in my career, across the couple of years of my career, that word responsible comes up. Well, let's be responsible.
Yeah.
I've looked at your goals, but let's be responsible. Let's rethink those. And it goes to that point number 3 that Blaine with this. You focus on how the yeah buts start, how too early, and you start shrinking that goal, and you do it to match capability rather than what you need, what the becoming part.
Right. Yeah. And that literally leads to number 4 here, where you're doing this because you want to protect things. You want to protect the business, you want to protect the team, you want to protect yourself from failure. And one of the easiest ways to do that is not have a stretch goal. I mean, you just kind of, we did 5% last year. Let's do 5% again this year.
I know. Yeah, exactly. We've done that. We know how.
We know how. And this will get you into a whole world of hurt down the road because your organization isn't growing. And if it's not growing, by definition, it's dying.
Yeah, there is that.
There is that piece.
Right.
So blind spots, that's what we're kind of working against here. So how do they show up? Well, symptomatically, they show up in some real interesting way. And we'll just start with number 4 on the previous slide, which is we set low targets. We set goals that don't stretch people. That's you look around and people are not stretched. It's kind of like, okay, one more time with feeling, but there's no feeling because there's no juice. There's no stretch. And Doland and I, with the mastermind program, the leadership mindset mastermind that we're doing, and we're starting another one in March, by the way. So join the wait list. Just a shameless plug here. But when we're looking through the lens of setting low goals to protect ourselves, to protect people, things don't change. They really don't change. And this is a leadership challenge. It really is. Safe goals that don't stretch.
Yeah. And leaders, as you listen to this, these are symptoms not only to watch for your thinking, but watch for in the body of your team, your organization, and watch it doesn't have to be other leaders. There are other people in the organization that aren't leaders that are doing things, right? So listen for that. So it hooks into number 2, incremental progress disguised as strategic growth. And there's this illusion that can occur, and I had to smile when we were putting this deck together. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember that. There's this illusion that can occur that, hey, we're moving forward. There's momentum. Well, therefore, this must be strategic. We're impacting that strategic growth. We're doing something. I'm busy.
Yep. Yeah.
And the team has the illusion that they're moving forward. And as the leader, you're kind of in that catch-22 to kind of come back and help them understand the difference between busy and strategic.
Yes. Yeah. Busy and effective. Yeah. All of that kind of comes into play here. Yeah.
Yeah. Ease and elegance. Ease and elegance.
And one of the ways that you begin to notice that you've got incremental progress going on is your team kind of stands around waiting for instructions instead of saying, hey, this is ours to do. This is mine to do. And when I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about the distinction between accountability and responsibility.
Oh, boy.
And
Good
I
chat.
and I related a story that
Sure.
was really a learning event for me. Back in the 1980s, I was National Training Organization. I was the Southern California area director, and we had offices in a number of cities around the U.S. And in our training programs, we would always have music. So we had sound systems in each of the regions, and every Monday we would have a area meeting or area director meeting, and the sound system in Philadelphia blew up. I mean, literally blew up, and they had smoke and all kinds of stuff coming out. And I was relatively new into that area manager role. And I remember the CEO in that Monday call going, okay, I want to have everybody go around the horn here. Now, it wasn't video, it wasn't Zoom. Everybody was on the phone. So I want you to talk about how you're accountable for that sound system going out. And I'm sitting in San Diego going, I couldn't be further away from Philadelphia. What are you talking about, me being accountable for that? I don't even know what their office looks like. I'd never been there. And he was insistent on it. He says, I'm not asking you to take responsibility for it.
Right.
I am asking you to look at how you could be considered, how you could account for
such a good
this
question.
event occurring in our system. This is where this got real interesting. Accountability has a systemic dynamic to it.
Oh, yeah.
A system that I'm a part of, and in every part of this, in any system, any part of it is going to influence the rest of it. So believe it or not, I could actually, and I did, I came up with a couple of ideas. I came up with a couple of ways that I could claim accountability, not blame, not responsibility, but I could recognize my part in that thing going on the fritz. And it was just a little tiny thing. I mean, kind of a preventive maintenance sort of a conversation that I could have had with my counterpart.
Sure, but those little tiny things that hooking into 3, right? Well, and 4, right? Around innovation. When we look at both of them side by side, it's those little tiny things, I think, Blaine, that with a lot of times where we talk about the stall, right? As part of this, things stall. Stretch goals don't work because you're being busy. Progress stalls because it's viewed as strategic growth. When you're in that stall, those little opportunities to do something different, it becomes part of the becoming. Mm-hmm. What is it that we could do different that we're not doing today? What is it that would implement? And that's a great distinction of the difference between accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Oh, it was really, and what was interesting about it, and this is the language that I've got for it now but I didn't have it then, but the for the sake of what, and this is where this number 4 thing comes into play. Number 4 thing, that, was it worth it? What would make it worthwhile, me getting on the phone with my counterpart in Philadelphia? Well, because I value being a world-class organization that delivers flawlessly in the training room.
Yes, that's an indicator. Yeah.
So I didn't own that. I mean, that was not part of my accountability framing.
I love that.
And he, to the CEO's credit, I mean, he didn't beat us up about any of this thing. He used it as a teaching moment. And
Right.
yeah, and we ended up becoming far more professional in the way we were doing things. Yeah, as a consequence of that one conversation, I've never forgotten that conversation.
That's awesome. That's very cool. That's something that leaders, as you listen to this, that's something to pay attention to with your teams, because we do have a tend to dwell on responsibility.
Yes.
Who broke it?
Who broke it? There's almost always there's blame associated with it.
I know.
Yeah.
Having raised five, having raised five sons.
5 sons, yeah.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
broke it?
Who broke it? Oh,
We'll
man.
do a whole section on power of you with responsibility down the road here one of these days.
Yeah, there's a topic right there. But I'm gonna skewer that on the end of my pen so we don't forget it.
The future is not a place we're going, it's a place we're creating.
Yeah.
Now this may seem like semantic and some wordsmithing and parsing, but I want those of you that are listening here, I mean, and anybody that is got this on is listening. The future's out there, but it's really a place that we're creating now.
Right.
It's not out there somewhere. It's here. We're creating it here and now. This is the idea of growth. This is the idea of paying attention and being accountable. I mean, all of that stuff kind of comes into this conversation here.
Yeah, that's such an important thing. Our old friend Bob, Mr. Proctor, one of the things that he taught on that little card that you would carry around in your pocket is, I am so happy and grateful now that, and which is bringing the future from the future into the present. It's not a place we're going. It's a place we're creating. It's a place where we are. It's part of what we're due to become.
Yeah. Now is the only place we can create. We can't create tomorrow. We can only create today.
Or yesterday.
Or yesterday. We can't.
I can only apologize for yesterday. That's all I can do.
I usually do.
Yeah, me too.
So all of this is bundled in the context of leadership. And, we define it very specifically. Influencing, co-creation, coordinated movement in pursuit of a worthy ideal. For the sake of what? And the worthy ideal is not the vision, goals, or objectives. Don't get confused with these things.
No.
It's really the answer to the question of what matters.
No.
We want to go here. We want to have that. We want to be this. Why does that matter?
Right.
That question gets real personal real quick.
That's one of the things as we get into the worthy ideal. Worthy ideal is hinges on inspiration. And inspiration is and it's different for every person in the team. It's different for leaders, every leader in the leadership organization. That inspiration. You mentioned, Blaine, the comment around delivering world-class training. That is an inspiration, aspirational component that creates a worthy ideal. And there's a piece of that belongs to everybody on a personal level. And just as we head further into this conversation, leaders, my pay attention to that worthy ideal. Put that in the back, right here in your neck, right here where the hairs stand up. Put it right there. Because if you've created your goals and your objectives and your strategies and your tactics and your all the blah 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 that goes into what you do to move forward into 26 and forward in your business, without that worthy ideal, that inspirational piece, it's incomplete.
Yes. Yeah. It leaves people with the experience of, is that all? It's kind of like, we did what we said we were going to do, but is that all? There's nothing that resonates.
Yeah, there's no personal component. There's when you go home at the end of the evening and your partner asks you, what did you do today? It is that inspirational answer that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Not the motivational answer. Well, I made a bonus. That was cool.
I got my bonus. I hit my numbers today.
That's it. It was good. Yeah.
For the sake of what? Well, I don't know, but I hit my numbers.
Yeah, that's so important. And when the work that we do with our clients, it's always fascinating the depth of not knowing the for the sake of what.
Yeah. People are not typically asked this question in any form.
No. Big gap.
There's the hill. Let's go take it.
And yell bang on the way.
Yeah. So we're going to reframe leadership here just a little bit. And we mentioned goals, the purpose of which are to grow. Now you get something in the process of growth, but the real purpose, if you take your eye off that ball, the real purpose of the goal is to grow. If you take your eye off that focus, you end up not having much to work with. So goals are not targets to hit. They are commitments. They literally are commitments to growing, to growth. They have a physical form. They have a, you can see them, touch them, smell them, taste them, talk about them.
Right.
But they're embedded within them is that for the sake of what? Which is different than can we do this? Can we do this? We'll stop the process real quick. For the sake of what? It's kind of like, well, this matters. I don't know if we can do it or not, but this matters.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah. That is so important. This is such a good conversation for leaders today, because this is a big gap area as you create goals and create your objectives and the things that you're going to do, because goals trickle, right? Goals have gravity. They trickle down and throughout. They're like leaves on a tree. They trickle all over your organization. And that's really important. If you're thinking of goals as targets to hit and not commitments to growth, then you do end up in that, can we do this?
Yeah.
And I love that the bullets, it anchors to ambition, doesn't anchor to meaning. And the meaning is for the sake of what?
Yeah.
So be aware of that. And then when the goal's worthy, growth becomes necessary. One of the things as a leader, and we've talked about this before on other powers of you, is one of the responsibilities of a leader is to create your replacement.
Yep.
And that is growth. It is not an optional requirement. In business, it's a mandatory requirement. You must be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. When you start getting pushback from folks on the team or in the organization, meaning is missing. Actually, let me rephrase that. Meaning is not necessarily meaning, but appropriate meaning is missing. The meaning they have made up about it is, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
Right.
And when we're looking at worthy ideal, by definition, worthy ideals are inclusive. They are inclusive. They include a broader constituency base than you would typically pay attention to. They're inclusive. They invite people to participate. That's why when we go back to the definition of leadership, co-creating, coordinated movement, all of that has to do with inclusion. It has to do with inclusion. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at here when we're reframing our thinking around goals and objectives. We want them to be growals.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good opportunity to reframe. And as a leader, one of the great parts about it is just these 3 bullets, or the four topics on this slide, give you it's a framework that you can put into your thinking, but not only ask that question about you, but ask that about your team.
Yeah.
Am I seeing this in the body of my organization? Because as a leader, you can't. What was the word we made up yesterday? Sisyphean.
Sisyphean, yes.
Sisyphean.
Big rock up the hill.
Say that 9 times in a row. So I'm going to write a song and call it Sisyphean. But anyway, but it is that your team must be. We talk a lot about the team has got to know the goals. They got to know the wigs. They got to know all these things that we do, and be synchronized on that, good alignment in that. But they also need to be in alignment with this reframe. How do we think about it? What is it that we're looking to do?
Yep.
How
are we doing that? So moving right through here, where am I?
We can just stop on that slide.
Yeah, all that stuff right there. So the mindset piece, yeah. You declare the destination before you consider the how. Now,
Oh, yeah.
again, the invitation is to just stop and consider that sentence. You declare the destination before you consider the how. Because if you don't get the destination right, the for the sake of what right, the how is irrelevant at that point in time. But if
Yeah.
you start with the how, you're going to not have a compelling for the sake of what.
Yeah. Yeah. That inspirational component of where you're all going, that destination, because it matters, is going to be missing. And love that second bullet. You see fear and hesitancy as information, not a stop sign. And a lot of times it goes back to that early on where I'm going to protect my team. I don't want my team fearful. I don't want to overstress them. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. And you sacrifice that growal, that opportunity to grow for the sake of, not for the sake of what, but for the sake of protecting your team. Because and by the way, fear's a natural thing. When we're going places we've never been before, that's why the definition of leadership is co-creating coordinated movement in pursuit of a worthy. That's so important because you will be fearful because you've not been there before.
Right.
There will be fear.
And it gives you great information about how to do the dance as you move into unknown territory. You're afraid of that. Great. Let's explore that a little bit because we're going to keep moving here. But I want to understand your concern. So we end up co-creating the movement.
Yeah.
And as we step on each other's toes, we do it in a way that people understand why the toe got stepped on. And we don't take it personally.
Oh, I thought we said foxtrot. No,
this is a waltz. So to that point here, you understand that growing requires outgrowing who you are today. Yeah. You may have two left feet, but if you keep going this, you're going to have a right foot and a left foot.
Right.
And you can actually learn to dance pretty well.
Right. I love that. But one of the things about that bullet I was thinking about earlier this morning is when you understand that growth requires outgrowing who you are today. And leaders, as you think about that, it also gives you that canary in the coal mine.
Oh yeah.
For the capacity and capabilities of those who are on your team and in what roles they're in and what they are doing. Because that's a big statement. You have to understand that growth requires outgrowing who we are today. And that's a leap. And
we become what we said we want. That's why the worthy ideal is this goal worthy of who we're becoming.
Yeah.
And you will experience tension. I mean, tension, another word for tension is friction. Another word for tension is anxiety. I mean, all of that stuff comes into play here. And a way to illustrate this particular one, holding the tension between vision and current reality. This hand right here, this is current reality. This is what we have today. And this hand over here is, there you go. Yeah. The vision. They are connected. We get them connected. And this, we've got tension here. Twang, twang, twang. And that tension is required because if you hold the vision out here, you start drawing current reality towards it. The tension will seek release. Most people will find that they will collapse because the tension is unbearable, they think, or they're afraid of it. You need to hold the tension between vision and current reality without collapsing it. Because if you can hold it, you start making things happen differently.
Yeah. I love that. Love that analogy, that constant and persistent stretch.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it hurts. It might be uncomfortable, but it is a constant and persistent stretch because you're leaving the place where you are today, which hooks into that last bullet from a leader's mindset, right? It's not asking how do we pull this off? Which I had to laugh when I read that. I'm thinking, yeah, I can remember many meetings being in the room, ending with, okay, how are we going to do this?
Yeah. How are we going to do this? Okay, back that truck up a little bit here.
Take a pill.
Take a pill. Yeah. Take a chill pill.
Step back a little bit. But the question that gets missed is that last part. Who must we become?
Yeah.
And that's that inspirational piece. That's that's your core. That's the connect to for the sake of what? Who must we become?
Yeah. So a great way to frame that, that I have found in working with clients is, what kind of an organization would do this successfully?
Yeah.
What kind of a team would do this successfully? What are the characteristics? What are the qualities that they exhibit?
Yeah.
That's what we start modeling. That handles the question, how do we pull this off? But if you start with how do we pull this off, you start with current reality. You start with, this is who we are. We can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a powerful exercise. And leader, the kind of, another slight at that exercise is, as you're going through this, one of the things that you will always look at, you think about who you aspire to be as a company or an organization relative to your competitors, without identifying your uniqueness.
Exactly.
But when you're thinking about that, don't get hung up in the how do they ask who they are. Who are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you may discover gaps that will help you keep that stretch. But
behavior, behavior is always an answer to who am I?
Always.
It shows up. Who am I? Well, I'm the kind of person who. I'm the kind of team. We are the kind of team who. We are the kind of organization who. That's what you're going to see in your organization's behavior, your team's behavior, and your behavior.
Yeah. Vastly different.
The who, you change the how.
Exactly. Such a different conversation than the who. How the hell do we do this? We've tried this before.
Yeah, because you that's who you were before. That's who you are right now. Who do you need to be?
Exactly. So integrating mindset with your team. Go. You were going to say something.
No, you just bring this together. I mean, it's leadership requires people working with you. You require people working with you as a leader to make it happen. So part of your conversation, and this start of the new year here, framing goals as developmental journeys, not succeed or fail pressure points.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We've never done this before. We've never gone in this direction before. We've never taken that big a bite before. No guarantees. But what will we learn? How will we be? What will we grow into as we do this? That's a developmental process. Now, you want to keep the goal and objective in front of people, but if you've got the for the sake of what as a foundation piece, that becomes almost a no-brainer.
Right. You're not serving the goal. You're serving the for the sake of what?
Exactly.
The goal is derived through that. And that's very important. I love that, you normalize not knowing the how as the leader. That's really so important. When you think back to the definition of leadership, co-creating coordinated movement, when we think about that, it's that we are going to go somewhere we don't necessarily know how. Even when leaders, I'll give you a corollary. If you think about, go out to the garage, open a garage door, get in your car, drive to the grocery store. You've done it 1,000 times. Yet you don't know if between here and the grocery store, will there be potholes? Is there a new stop sign? Are there new lights? Are there trees I've never seen before? Will there be a meteor? I mean, there are all kinds of things that we don't know. And when you focus on the how, you won't leave the garage to get in your car.
Yep.
You will stop.
Yeah.
So you as the leader, normalize not knowing how is okay.
Which connects to trust. Yep. Yeah. And then, I mean, you get in the car and you get your little helper next to you and say, okay, help me out as we do this here. So you invite ownership and emotional engagement by asking the team to help discover the path. Yeah, we don't know how to do this. You guys are close to the work. You know how to run the machines. You know how to talk to the client. You know what their concerns are.
Yeah.
Let's discover this.
Oh my God.
Discover this.
It took me a moment to come back from that. Usually the questions when I get in the car from my helper is, do you know where you're going?
Yeah.
But generally I don't. I just drive.
No, my
anyway,
little helper is he's 24/7.
All good. Yes, it is. So then you create safety for learning, iteration and calibration. Look, leaders, there's a bunch of things that hook into all of this. There's 4 pillars that Blaine and I talk about with trust and communication and growth and autonomy and all the stuff that comes along with accountability. Safety gives, fundamentally, if we change the word safety, it is permission.
Yes. Yeah.
You create a culture of permission, which incorporates safety to give people permission to learn, to try, to experiment, to fail. Iterate means, well, that's not what I expected. I'm going to do more. I'm either going to do the same, do less, or do more, or do something different. You only have 4 alternatives there. So you have to create that culture of permission. And as the leader, you have to say that in at least 3 different ways in 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and in the saying, basically what you're doing is you're connecting the goal to what matters.
Yeah.
You've got to keep, because it's real. Boy, I can't emphasize this one enough. The default for almost everybody in an organization is to focus on the how, not the what matters.
Yeah.
So your role as a leader, and it's going to drive you crazy, is you have to keep coming back to, here's what matters about this. Here's what you tell me what matters to you about this. I know that we just had a little, slip here. What matters to you such that we can get back on track here as quickly as we can? You have to keep connecting the goal back to what matters, not just what's being measured. Because you look at what's being measured is just a snapshot in time. What matters lives beyond time. So you make that distinction, you keep connection, you keep connection in pursuit of a worthy ideal.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not capturing that worthy ideal. It's in pursuit of that worthy ideal.
Yes. Important point. Pursuit's a very important word. It's not to capture the worthy ideal. Oh man. Love that. So governing behaviors. So you mentioned it earlier, Blaine, around behaviors, and behaviors become paradigm busters. They become how we conduct ourselves. Remember in the definition of leadership, influencing is tied to behavior. Directly tied to behavior. So start conversations with the for the sake of what. Let's refresh that. And by the way, leaders, don't tell them, ask them.
Ask them. Yeah. That's a great point. You can't tell somebody why it matters. Now you can suggest why it matters for the company. That's certainly legitimate. But why does it matter to them? Why does it matter to them? That you have to ask.
Right. Yeah. For the sake of what it matters to the business, you own that. There's a personal aspect because you will have your own personal for the sake of what, but you own that outcome. You are the executive. You are the leader. But ask them. So start every conversation with that.
Yeah, which actually, from a governing perspective, leads right to bullet point number 2 here. As a leader, you've got a fiduciary responsibility, an organizational responsibility to set direction. There's where we're going. We've talked about why it matters. We've asked you to continue exploring why it matters as we go on this journey here. But you want to be able to separate that direction from execution. Execution is the team's job. They're going to figure out how to do it if you give the ball away and say, okay, your quarterback, you just passed it off.
Right.
Okay? Let them block and tackle.
Yeah, because they will.
Come back and huddle up and just keep going down the field.
Yeah, your teams, you'd be surprised, leaders, at when you trust your team and when you follow these little simple things. There's a lot more to this than what we're doing today in this. But if you follow these things, your teams will rise to the occasion.
Yep.
You'll be amazed. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over in my career. When you implement that, your team will rise to the occasion. And then protect the grow. We've worked inside again, I had to crack up when I saw this, Blaine, because I remember being in a software company and walking in the room and sitting down, and the CEO's there, and I'm like in the top 3, 4 of the people in the blah, 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 right? And he goes, well, we're going to reduce, we're having some challenges, so we're going to reduce it.
Of course we are.
Because it's easier.
It's easier. We're not capable.
And I've noticed culturally a lot of discomfort in the team, and it just, the people are nervous. And so we're going to reduce this quarter's responsibility. And all of the rest of us kind of went, what? We're doing what? What are we doing? So protect that role. And that means maintain the commitment, maintain that committed decision. That doesn't mean it's 100% all in, but you're committed.
Yep. Link it back to who are we becoming?
Yeah.
Because you look around and you go, we're not there yet. God, I don't know. I don't know if we can pull this off, but this is who we say we want to become. Let's get back on the horse.
Right.
And we, literally, point number 4 here, we begin to reinforce and continue to insist on accountability for learning, progress, and clarity. How are you accountable for that sound system in Philadelphia blowing up? I don't know, but let me figure it out, because I'm part of this system. And what we say matters is the quality of the product that we're offering to the clients. So I've got a part, I own that. That's mine. And I'm in a leadership role, so I become an exemplar in one sense of that for the rest of the company, certainly for my part of the company.
Right. Right. One of the things I love about that too, that you're just talking about this too, Blaine, was from your lesson with accountability and responsibility. And just to wrap this slide up, is when you insist on accountability, it goes back to that conversation, leaders, around what are you measuring? Are you measuring the goal? But if you're focused on accountability for learning, progress, and clarity, you have those three things, 3 unique measures. How much did we learn? Let's measure our learning. Let's measure our progress. Let's measure our clarity. What can we do to be clearer so that we create confidence and trust and good communication? And it becomes a linchpin to shift to reframe what you think about measuring, and should become components of that process.
Why does this matter? Speaking about for the sake of what matters. Goals that don't grow people eventually will stall and kill the business. If your people aren't growing, the company isn't growing. I do a lot of work with a consortium of businesses in Japan. And the company that I've been working with them for about 35 years now. Their tagline for the company is growing great companies by growing great people. And that's their focus. They grow great companies by growing great people. And they have not strayed from that. That really is kind of their North Star.
Yeah. Love that. And then again, we talk about how, just quickly, starting with how keeps leaders and teams trapped at their current level. When you're in the how, you're in the now.
Yep.
I just made that up. That was pretty good. I'll have to listen to the transcript later and write that down, because I won't remember it. But when you're in the how, you're in the now. And the intention is, as we talked about from the very start of this, is who are we becoming?
Yep.
How is a component of the conversation, but if you start there, stay there.
You start with what you already know. You start with what you already are. And you're going to do that anyway. But if you start there with how being in the forefront, that becomes the focal point. Energy follows attention, not intention. So you want to keep the attention on the for the sake of what.
Right. Yeah, very
which
much.
is what a Growl makes possible here. You end up building trust in the organizational system by inviting people, by inviting the teams into meaningful challenges. Why does this matter to you? They begin to trust that there's something there for them. What's in this for me? Now I know I get a paycheck, but what else is in here for me?
Right.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you do a survey of the company, of the people on the team, why are they working with you rather than someplace else? Now they
Oh,
get a job, they get they get a paycheck, all that kind of stuff. But if they had agency, in which they do, they could go anywhere. And why you? Why now?
yeah.
What are you making possible for them? And
Yeah.
is it enough?
And then organizations scale before leaders scale first.
Yep.
So when leaders, as a leader, Blaine and I talk about this a lot, and which is stay in the study. When you scale, and you scale your mindset, you scale your reframe, and you scale how you think, and you and you focus on that who do I have to be, not have, do, be do, have, and you focus on that, your organization will scale with you.
Yeah.
It's a law of the universe. If
Your
you don't
organization
scale,
becomes a reflection of who you are.
if you don't scale, your organization never will.
So you have to have the courage to aim high. Because, I mean, when you start doing this, all of a sudden you move away from motivation and into inspiration.
So different.
And they're very different animals. They really are. And most organizations at the beginning of a year, they will set up motivational goals for their people.
Right.
Yeah. Bonuses, whatever it might be. You get a steak, you get steak knives. I don't know what it might be here. But you got to keep coming back to the trough. If you can
I've won those before. So.
Yeah, I have too. Inspiration is what you want to tap into, and inspiration is a function of clarity around what matters.
Yes.
What matters.
Yeah.
And you end up developing the capability to get there. Yeah, and you will look different and be different than you were when you started.
Right. There we go. That's why it matters. There you go, goals. There you go, leaders.
Oh, this kind of wraps it up here. When you anchor goals to meaning instead of mechanics, fear lets go. There's an interesting book that came out years ago by a fellow, a good friend of mine. He's now passed, Dr. Jerry Jampolsky. And the title of the book, and Jerry actually was a seminal author of the Course in Miracles. Some of you may be familiar with that work. But he wrote a book called Love is Letting Go of Fear. And he basically suggested that the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear.
Oh, yeah.
And when you anchor goals in something that's meaningful, something that I love, fear loses its grip because I love it. What would you love? What would you love? And that's for the sake of what? What would you love to have, do, or be?
Yeah.
The how doesn't come into play at that point in time. The mechanics of the how become basically irrelevant. Now, you still need to do stuff for sure.
Well, of course. Yeah. That's
yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say, which is why you're not looking for certainty here. You just lock into what matters.
Right.
Yeah, and that conversational dynamic requires leaders that know how to do this well.
Yeah.
It's not command and control. It's how do you influence others in order to co-create coordinated movement in pursuit of a worthy idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a good statement. And then just to cap it, right? One of the things, and just to reinforce what you just said, was when we think about leadership begins the moment you choose who you're becoming. Command and control, management, lives in when you're focused on what you're trying to achieve. And by the way, leaders, you got to do that too. That's management. Resourcing, allocation, on time, in budget, take care of your people. But leadership begins the moment you choose who you're becoming. You are that person that sets the direction on that path.
Leadership is the art of creating possibility in people's minds so that it can get translated into probability so that management can take the ball and run with it and turn it into reality.
Right.
Possibility to probability into reality. That's where we're working here. That's what leaders do, the possibility piece.
There it is.
And that's us.
And there you go. And that's Growals. That's as you're heading into 26. Look, I would, leaders, share this with your team. My recommendation, share it with your team and visit and ask ask questions. What's your worthy ideal?
Yeah.
Why does this, we said we're doing this. Why does this matter to you personally?
For the sake of what? Yeah.
Yeah. And don't be chagrined because if you don't know those answers when you ask those questions, because you probably won't.
You probably won't, and they won't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can help define that worthy ideal. Why would this matter to us? If we were able to pull this off, this big, hairy, audacious goal, whatever that BHAG.
Whatever. Yeah, the BHAG.
The BHAG. Yeah. Why does that matter? What does it matter?
I remember BHAGs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was it Jim Collins? I think it was Jim Collins.
Yeah. Jim Collins, BHAGs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All that good stuff. So,
got to have at least 19 of them.
Anyway. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we can keep all those balls in the air.
Right. All right.
So, folks, this is the power of you. Thank you for listening to this episode. And we're going to take a little pause right now. Take a 3 count. And I'm going to bring the slide back up. And we've got a mastermind program that I mentioned at the front end here. We've got one running right now. We've got 15 people in it, which is what that's the target. 15 leaders from around the world. We've got folks in this mastermind program from Finland, from Italy, from
Dubai,
from
Bahrain, Mexico,
Canada, Mexico, the U.S., Croatia.
Right.
I mean, we've got them from. It's a global leadership mindset mastermind. Soul of business. How do you lead it? Everything that we've just looked at today is part and parcel of what this mastermind program is about. We do 2 of these a year. We are, there's a wait list we got balloons. There we go. We've got a wait list that is already starting to be populated for the March program that is being launched.
Yeah.
So if you are interested at all, we're not going to talk about what it is or how it is or any of the bells and whistles here. But if you are interested, feel free to join the wait list. There's no obligation for just putting your name in the hat. But unless your name's in the hat, you're not going to be in the mastermind program. So you can go to leader.blainebartlett.com/LMM-GC. And that'll put you onto a landing page. It'll give you all the information you want about what the program is and also a clickable link to get onto the wait list.
Yeah.
So
and do that, leaders. My suggestion would be do that. For the results that we're seeing with our global cohort, I have to smile just because.
Yeah, we're 3 months in on this one right now. So we've got great results beginning to show up out of this. It's a phenomenal program. This is the 5th year we've done this. Right. So this is not something that is just kind of pulled off the shelf. It's curated. It's focused on some very specific things, particularly that leadership definition. Influencing. What's that involved? Co-creation. What's that involved? Coordinated movement. There's a whole communication piece in that. And then that worthy ideal thing, that thing. Yeah.
That weird thing.
That weird thing. How do you get that set up? All of that gets explored. So that's the invitation.
There you go.
Feel invited, not obligated, and there is absolutely no obligation for joining the wait list. You'll have a conversation with Doland or myself about the program and what it might make possible for you, for the sake of what, literally. So feel free.
Yep. Dr. Bartlett.
Dr. White, thank you for being my partner in this.
There you go. A lot of fun today. Good conversation.
Good conversation. Take care. And